Hey, they caught this guy, Frank James. His brother let off about 30 rounds in a Brooklyn subway station. I think the area was Sunset Park. It's not too far from the Park Slope area. Those of you who are familiar with New York, but his reasons were he was fed up with a lot of things that was happening in the city, and I think, in my personal opinion, he might be a little disturbed. But a lot of people are in the same posture in New York City, and not just New York City, the country. You're gonna see a lot of more. You're gonna see a lot more situations like this. This is not gonna be just a one of the mill situations. A lot of people are frustrated in this country. Period. And the leaders that run this country, they're nothing about. They're about just money, getting money and lining their pockets. Bottom line. But they caught this guy in Brooklyn, and prior to that, it says video seemed to show alleged New York City shooter Frank James walk through Sunset Park. They said the cameras in the subway station didn't work. In America, New York City has the worst subways, man. If I go to a different city, I like to try to visit their subway stations, and New York City has the worst subway stations. And crime has been growing on the subway. So this is just going to create more tension among people riding the trains. How are you going to keep raising the fare? And I think the fare is almost $4 a ride now, something like that. I can't remember. But they keep raising the fare, and then you have broken cameras in some of the stations. Explain that. But again, the Most High, he's letting this, all this is transpiring because the Most High is letting this happen. Yeah, people don't believe in the Most High. They have their opinions of what they should believe. But people are going to find out very soon that the Most High is real and he does exist. But, keep playing around, if you want. But the Most High,
That's the guy. That's the guy.
That's the guy that shot
That's the shooter.
Oh, we have him now.
Yeah, we know who you're
Are you
talking
right
about.
here?
Wait, he got in the fence right here?
Good.
You knew
He
this
walked
guy,
on this
huh?
block? Yeah, up this block. He came off this train station.
And look,
You know,
like you see the people running. he done bust off 30 shots. And here you have people running behind him, not even knowing that he's the shooter.
kids are running, not even knowing. They're running right behind
the
the
uniform
stops the
off.
bastard right there in the corner.
Look at these people running.
See him? He stops for a second, then he keeps going.
They're running towards the guy.
Yeah, no.
These guys like damn sheep, man. Like sheep. And it's not going to end. You're going to see a lot more situations just like this. As time goes on, you're going to see a lot more situations just like this. And it's of the Most High. I'm going to show you that in a little while. I'm going to prove that. I'm not going to be long. It's going to be a really short video. Just was on my mind. As I had a few other things on a brother's mind. But you're going to see a lot more situations like this because, you got insane people being let in the streets because of the budgets can't cover the amount of crazy people, insane people in the psych wards, or people are not, properly diagnosed as mentally stable, and they let right off in the streets. They let in the streets again. So you're going to have a lot of situations where you have them now. A lot of mentally ill people are on the streets of New York, and not just New York, San Francisco. San Francisco has a serious problem with drugs, especially among white people. In my opinion, that's why they're talking about it so much now. The country is slowly dying, and the Most High's prophecies slowly manifesting themselves. people are in serious denial, man. But they caught this guy today. And I like to hear what he has to say. Yeah, numerous videos on YouTube. Some say in regards of the job the mayor is doing, current mayor, Adams. How people are treated in the city. I mean, the list goes on and on. Me personally, I don't think he's mentally stable. I think he's snapped, and I think the Most High let him snap for a reason. The Most High, he controls who dies, who lives. The Most High controls everything. And he's not the first one. You have a lot of situations where people go on a rampage and start shooting up stuff.
Yesterday's subway attack in Brooklyn, captured by the NYPD in the East Village at 1:42 p.m. today after a more than 24-hour manhunt across the city and far and beyond that. He was arrested at First Avenue in St. Mark's Place without incident. Police just told us he is now facing federal charges for a terrorist attack on mass transit, and they acted on Crime Stoppers tips to eventually track him down this afternoon. Although his motive is still unclear, they do have a lot more evidence thanks to his social media post and from what they're hearing, talking to witnesses who were on that train yesterday when 10 people were shot and 13 more were injured. This video right here is of the arrest.
Also, some people were shot. I thought, well, they were saying it's surprising nobody died. But this guy, you know, he had a bag with smoke bombs, a hatchet, another gun in there. I don't know if that was the same gun he used in the attack. And he was ready to go in. He was ready to go in. He wasn't playing around.
It's in the East Village, right there on First Avenue, where you can see Frank James was brought into custody.
I don't know. I think this is wrong. They're saying it was in the East Village. Well, maybe they consider that part of Brooklyn or Village. I'm not sure, but I know it's a Sunset area.
And taken to the 9th Precinct by NYPD patrol officers. We also learned a little bit more from Keyshawn Sewell, the commissioner, about how this all unfolded for the last 24 hours, tracking him to an F train after he exited the R train on 25th Street in Brooklyn to the 7th Avenue Park Slope F train at 9:15 yesterday morning. So as we get all this information in, there's a whole lot more to uncover. Let's go to News 4 Chief Investigative Reporter Jonathan Dienst in the newsroom with what he's learned. Jonathan.
See, what a lot of people do, and what the issue is, a lot of people don't believe in the Most High. And they think that these things are just randomly happening, but that's not the case. The Most High, he controls people's thoughts as well as their actions. And if he wants them to kill, the Most High, he puts the spirit on people to kill. He does the same thing with animals. He does the same thing with storms. The Most High, he controls all these things. So if you don't believe in the Heavenly Father, then, you know, you will not be able to comprehend nor wrap your mind around these type of actions from the Most High. You will not be able to understand. But the Most High, he controls everything. And a lot of people, they don't accept the Most High. And a lot of times these are the ones who get shot, because the Most High tells you no one dies innocent. The Most High has a reason for everyone dying on this planet. We just don't know all the reasons. But the Most High, he controls everything. And those of us who walk in faith, we understand and we accept this. But now if you're in your emotions and in your feelings, you're not going to accept that. I was talking to these sisters in a firm one time. I worked in a brokerage house above their company. And every once in a while I go on their floor and I just talk with these two sisters. And this is around the time the World Trade Center went down, and they were in fear. Everything was scary land. And I simply said, yo, if it's my time to go, it's my time to go. But they could not wrap their mind around terrorism, the World Trade Center, shootings. Everything was walk around in fear. And you can't walk in fear. You have to accept the Most High, and you have to deal righteously with the Most High in the current body you are in. And the reason why they were so scary, Barry, and walking around in fear is because they haven't truly put on the Most High, and they don't know the Most High. They don't know anything relating to the Most High in regards of death, and that's why they are. That's the why they're in the spirit they're in. So when the bombs go off and the real deal starts to unleash itself, this is where they're going to fail, and they're going to fail miserably. The Most High does what he wants to do, and nothing is going to stop that. But it says, is Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, 39th chapter in the 25th verse. It says, for the good are all, it says, for the good are good things created from the beginning. See that? So good things are made to those who are good, and a good life is created and maintained to those who follow the Heavenly Father. Bottom line. That's what the Most High is saying. For the good are good things created from the beginning, so evil things for sinners. See? So if you are a sinner, the Most High has things lined up for you. If you do good, you get good back. And if you do bad, you get bad back. That's what the Most High says. And the Most High has no respect of persons. You could be Esau, you could be Israel, you could be Ishmael, you could be Ham. The Most High, he has all these things set up and ordained to his will and for his doing, and to deal with the sinners. Bottom line. Again, it says, for the good are good things created from the beginning, so evil things for the sinner. 26th verse. The principal thing for the whole, it says, the principal things for the whole use of man's life are water, fire, iron, salt, flour of wheat, honey, milk, and blood of grapes, and the blood of grapes, and oil and clothing. So all the basic necessities that are on this earth, the Most High created. And if you are wise and you walk in the footsteps of righteousness, all these things are provided for you. This is why, I don't have a thing against brothers stocking up goods and water and beans and rice for the days of darkness that's ordained to come. But I believe the Most High is going to take care of those who serve him well as well. I believe the Most High has got you covered. And I believe hard times are coming to this country, and I believe a lot of evil is going to be done in the midst of us, no matter what state or country you're in. That's what I personally believe. So this shooting is just an inkling of what's coming in the future. 27th verse says, all these things are for good to the godly. See that? See that? All these things are good to the godly. So if you lack any of these things, you need to consider your ways, that maybe you're doing something wrong or ungodly. Because the Most High says all these things are good for the godly, so to the sinner that they are turned into evil. See that? Then the Most High can flip it if you are evil. Then the Most High says there be spirits that are created for vengeance. See, the Most High, he's the author and master of vengeance. If you do wrong, the Most High will take out vengeance on you. If you worship other gods, the Most High will unleash other gods on you. In other words, like the first verse says, the 25th verse says, for the good are good things created from the beginning, so evil things for the sinner. See that? So evil things for the sinner. So if you're good from the beginning, the Most High has always provided for you, whether it's clothes, water, iron, salt, flour, wheat, honey, milk, blood of the grapes, which is wine, oil, clothing. The Most High provides all those things if you're good. But if you are wicked and you do the opposite of what's required of the Most High, if you go against Scripture, then those things are either stricken from you, or the Most High will put you in a state of suffering, or the Most High can have you go mad. He can have you go mad, crazy. 20th verse again says, there be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury, the fury the Most High puts on them, the evil that the Most High gives them over to, because we all have spirits. An animal has spirits. Humans have spirits. The Most High put a spirit on a storm or an earthquake or a typhoon. The Most High says there be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury, meaning their anger, lay on sore strokes. So in fury, they strike with severe strokes of vengeance from who? The Most High. The Most High. Then when you read on, it says, in the time of destruction, they pour out their forces. See? So everything has a time. So the man on that subway, the Most High, he planned that all out. But those of us who don't know the Most High, we just will recognize it as a crazy man, not knowing that there are spirits created for the Most High's vengeance. That spirit was on that particular being in its time, in its place. That's why the Most High says, in the time of destruction, they pour out their force. See that? So this could be a storm. We're coming towards storm season. We're in storm season just about. Then you have floods. You've seen it a million times. Situations where animals attack. But the Most High says, in the time of destruction, they pour out their forces, or force, meaning their destruction, their wrath, to appease the wrath of him that made them. So the Most High made the spirit of man. He made the spirit of animals. He made the spirit of storms and earthquakes and destructions and fury. And they all have been created to appease the wrath of the Most High that made them all. The Most High. 29th verse says, fire, hail, famine, and death, all these were created for vengeance. See that? A lot of you didn't know that. A lot of you take that, for granted, or you don't really consider that the fire and the hail that hurt, kill, and destroy people as well as villages, that kill people in far off lands or maybe in a subway station. Fire and hail and famine and death. All these were created for vengeance, the Most High said. And death. I want you to focus on that part right there. And death were created for the Most High's vengeance. 29th verse. Then suppose you say, oh, that's only talking about storms, huh? It says teeth of wild beasts, which can be used to do the Most High's bidding, to kill, destroy, to make life miserable, which is the vengeance of the Most High. Teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents, and the sword punishing the wicked. See that? So men carry swords today. A modern sword is a Glock, Tech 9s, Desert Eagle, 38 if you want to go smaller, AR-15s if you want to go bigger. But the Most High isn't just limited to the animals. In the storms, he says teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents, which is not human. Scorpions is not human. Beast is not human, but they all have spirits, and they have these spirits that are being used for the Most High's vengeance. And the sword punishing the wicked to destruction. See, the sword punishing the wicked to destruction. Why? The 29th verse again, it says, fire and hail and famine and death, which comes by the sword to punish the wicked, and death, all these were created for vengeance, the Most High said, for vengeance. 31st verse says, they shall rejoice at his commandment, meaning the spirits that are on all these things, or these instruments, or these animals or people that are used to kill, destroy for the Most High's vengeance. It says they, meaning the spirits on anything the Most High chooses to use. They shall rejoice in his commandments. They shall be ready upon earth when need is. And when their time is come, See, so the time of the subway shooting had its time at a specific place and again time. That's why the Most High says, and when their time is come, they shall not transgress his word, meaning it's not going to be turned away. Nothing can stop it. The angels and the spirits of the Most High, they do the Most High's bidding. They do the Most High's bidding. Therefore, from the beginning, I was resolved and thought upon these things and have left them in writing. See, so if people knew the Most High and respected his writing or respected the words of the Most High, showing you what the Most High writes down through the prophets and the men of his spirit, the future, past, and current events we are experiencing now. Therefore, from the beginning, I was resolved and thought upon these things and have left them in writing for who? For us. The Most High tells you in the book of Romans 15:3-4, the things are written aforetime was written for our learning. All the works of the Lord are good, and he will give every needful thing in due season. So everything has a season and a time. Death has a season and a time, and our deliverance as well as life from the dead has a season and a due time. So that a man cannot say this is worse than that, for in time they shall all be well approved. And therefore praise ye the Lord with the whole heart and mouth, and bless the name of the Lord. Everything has its time and its place, and we're in a time where things are going to get worse and worse and worse. It's not going to get better. Not going to get better at all. So right now you got you got the illegals being dropped off in various parts of the country. Who's to say that those aren't terrorists? Who's to say those aren't insane people? Who's to say those people are not criminals? But we know that everybody on this planet is not good, and a lot of bad things are gonna transpire as as things progress, man. Things are not getting better. Things are getting worse and worse, and it's of the plans of the Most High, and this we have to accept. We have to accept the spirit of the Most High and just deal with it, man. Some of you are just, or I'm not gonna say you, but some of our people are just too emotional. They're too emotional, and they can't reason the Most High because they don't know the Most High. They don't know the Most High. So, not to know the Most High, in my opinion, that's suffering. Not to know the Most High, to me, that's suffering. It's not a good place to be. First Texas bus drops off migrants blocks from the Capitol in Washington, D.C. Now, we're going to watch this situation closely, and we're going to see how this unfolds, because it's just a matter of time before you have some form of terrorist attack in this country. The buses are part of Governor Greg Abbott's plan to counter the Biden administration approach to illegal immigration. A bus from Texas arrived in Washington, D.C. Wednesday morning, transporting dozens of illegal immigrants as part of Texas government Greg Abbott's new plan to counter federal immigration policies during an ongoing border crisis. Abbott announced last week that he was directing the Texas Division of Emergency Management, TDEM, to transport migrants released from federal custody in Texas to the nation's capital and other locations outside of his states. So you have Esau fighting Esau again, and it's not easing up.
First Texas bus drops off migrants blocks from U.S. Capitol in Washington, D.C. A bus from Texas arrived in Washington. D.C. Wednesday morning, transporting dozens of illegal immigrants as part of Texas Governor Greg Abbott's new plan to counter federal immigration policies during an ongoing border crisis. Abbott announced last week that he was directing the Texas Division of Emergency Management to transport migrants released from federal custody in Texas to the nation's capital and other locations outside his state. The bus pulled up at approximately 8 a.m. local time, blocks away from the U.S. Capitol building. Individuals disembarked one by one except for family units who exited together. They checked in with officials and had wristbands they were wearing cut off before being told they could go. According to Tim, Abbott's plan is already working. The agency told Fox News on Monday that many of the communities that originally reached out for support, from the Rio Grande Valley to Terrell County, say the federal government stopped dropping immigrants in their towns since Abbott's announcement on April 6. Some had questioned whether Abbott's plan to bus migrants was genuine. The White House dismissed it.
What they're doing is they're trying to step on each other's toes. Trying to step on each other's toes. And, you know, the Democrats are letting illegals come in to the country, hoping to get votes. They're hoping to get votes. Bottom line, and what's happening is that it's getting out of hand to the point where the taxpayers are complaining about them spending their money.
To the U.S. Capitol remains in question.
They don't want to spend their money.
2012 Supreme Court case, Arizona versus
you have
the United States,
illegals that are just
making their own
let free, what they call illegals, just let free into the country. Just let free into the country. And you got terrorists coming in behind that, pedophiles, rapists. So what's going to happen is crime is going to continue to grow.
Texans demand a deserved and aggressive, comprehensive strategy to
racist whites are going to get frustrated with the situation and take matters into their own hands. And you're going to have what they call a lot of good whites who are going to do a lot of bad things in the country. A lot of bad things in the country. And eventually there will be a total meltdown in this country. There will be a meltdown. Because you can't keep this up for so long. And it's just a matter of time before there's a complete meltdown and breakdown. You see what's happening in Russia. That's a very serious situation. And this is why it's important to maintain ourselves in Scripture. And this I say as a word of advice: walk slow, brothers and sisters. Walk very, very slow, because the breakdown of this country and the Edomites is not just happening among the heathens. The breakdowns is happening around us, and we see it every time around the time of Passover. We see it every time. So walk spiritually, slow down, know who you labor with, and know that there must be division. Someone put that stupid statement up again about why there must be divisions. They must be divisions. There has to be divisions, and these things need to be done so the Most High can manifest those who are approved. So, be very careful. Be very careful who you associate with. Be very careful of what's being taught to you, and focus more on the things that build up a righteous spirit. That's what that's what's selling on the frying pan today. What speaks more in terms of or deals more in terms of building a better spirit with the Most High. You understand? Because there are many doctrines that are floating around, and men are doing this because men and women are getting very weak in the faith now. And you have to be very careful. You have to be extremely careful, because this is what we're dealing with. This is what we're contending with now. And it's sad, but this is what it is now. It's very sad, but this is what it is. And we have to train our minds to focus on righteous things. I mean, the other things are important too. I'm not knocking those things, but the main thing is focus on things that build your spirit up to be meek and humble and righteous. Now you have to start making plans to separate from the crazy brothers and sisters, the brothers who are just focused on carnal things or things that's even based on truth but doesn't build up spirit as far as walking in the footsteps of Yahushua, which is Christ. Ecclesiastes 4 verse 13 says, till we all come in the unity of the faith and of the knowledge of the Son of the Most High. That's the key thing, the Son of the Most High. That's the key thing we're supposed to lock into. Unto a perfect man, unto the measure of the stature of fullness of Christ. 14th verse, that we henceforth or here now be no more children tossed to and fro, meaning from this doctrine to that doctrine, to this breakdown to that breakdown. A lot of you are all over the place. Then it says, are carried about with every wind of doctrine by the sleight, meaning the lies of men, and cunning craftiness whereby they lie in wait to deceive. So some brothers and sisters, that's their job, to lie in wait and to deceive. But speaking truth in love may grow up unto him in all things, which is the head, even Christ, meaning Yahushua, from the whom the body fitly joined together and compact by that which every joint supplieth according to the effectual working in the in the measure of every part, making increase of the body unto the edifying of itself in love. So consider, those few verses alone. We're heading into the deep water now. And only the big boys or the big dogs in spirit are going to be able to maintain and do what needs to be done in the right spirit. You're going to see things among us that's going to manifest that not all of us is designed to walk in the faith. We're looking at the world and Esau, but we're not looking at the brother or sister right next to us. So consider that. And have a blessed and spiritual Passover. And love your brothers and sisters, and be a support and a pillar to those brothers and sisters who are weak. Shalom.